specificity?
I've said even the legislation we are dealing with here is not the part of the amendment. But let's just address it because we are here. And I will say people views and people perspectives are different. And that's why we usually have what we call the three arms of government. Those who make the law, okay? Those in the executive, and those in the judiciary. And of course, those who make the law represent the people because they are elected by the people. Now, should any piece of legislation, for that matter, be construed that it has some issues, that's why we have the courts, and I'm happy to see that the courts are able to respond to some of these issues. But having had all the cases, then we'll have the final determination. But this law has been there, and it's done its work. And should the people feel that it has an issue, then through their elected representative, they can still go back and be able to carry out amendments. And those amendments will be taken on board based on merit or demerit. Mm-hmm. So we are not here just to defend the law. The law is for the people and not the people for the law.
All right.
Yeah.
We have also Clause 4. Law enforcement agencies have been given sweeping powers to demand user data from service providers. You're infringing all my rights. We will have, documents that we signed, terms and conditions, that my information will be protected. But now you're also giving the law enforcement agencies all the sweeping powers to come and have my information or my data retrieved when they are doing the traffic data, that is the real-time traffic data monitoring.
I will not say that anybody has been given sweeping powers. I think
via courts.
That is over.
No. But can we go to the clause itself?
Okay.
Yeah. You go, sweep it there and then you tell me. Yeah.
Is it in the new amendment or in the old?
No, it's in the new amendment as well.
Okay,
yes.
Fine. Let's have a look at it. The amendment is here. Okay.
When you're looking at the real time, when you're looking at the real time, let me try and retrieve it here. When you're looking at the real time trafficking.
Because the only amendments we have in the new piece of legislation, of course, I've talked about access, trying just to give it further clarity. The 5 new definitions. Section 6, of course, which talks about the issues of websites, mm-hmm. and it has clarified which websites are targeted here. Mm-hmm. And I'm using the word targeted on a very conservative note. Those that are propagating illegal activity, those that are supporting matters of terrorism, those that are having issues with matters of child pornography, then religious extremism and cults. The next amendment is Section 27. That talks about cyber harassment, and the issue there was just insertion of suicide. Mm-hmm. Then Section 30, phishing. Phishing has just been expanded, not only using messages, but also to include calls, because people are calling and are soliciting for private and personal information. Then you go straight to Section 42, which is just an additional offense to the 33 that already existing, and introducing the issues of SIM swapping. So anything outside here, I think is just an over-exaggeration.
All right, but we have the record of and access to seized data, yeah? Where a computer system or data has been removed or rendered inaccessible following a search of seizure under 48, the person who made the search shall, at the time of the search or as soon as practical after the search, make a list of, let me read Section 2 where I'm really concerned. Subject to subsection 3, a police officer or an authorized person shall, on request, permit a person who had the custody to control the computer system, has a right to any data of information seized or secured, has been acting on behalf of a person under subsection A, 1A or B, to access and copy computer data on the system, to give the person a copy of the computer data. The police officer or authorized person may refuse to give access to or provide copies under subsection 2 if they have reasonable grounds for believing that giving the access or providing the copies may constitute a criminal offense, prejudice the investigation in connection with the search that was carried out. Let me try and get there. Yes, expedited preservation and partial disclosure of traffic data, where a police officer or an authorized person has a reasonable ground to believe that any specified traffic data stored in any computer system or computer data storage medium or by means of a computer system is reasonably required for the purpose of a criminal investigation, and there is a risk of vulnerability that the traffic data may be modified, lost, destroyed, or rendered inaccessible. The police officer or an authorized person shall serve a notice on the person who is in the possession of control of a computer system, requiring the person to undertake expeditious preservation of such available traffic data. This specific clause that I'm looking for is not really coming up here, but you understand what I'm really talking about.
I do understand,
yes.
And that's a very
yes, yeah, I've just read robustly.
Very straightforward provision. Remember, you've read the word criminal, okay? So what you're trying to say here, once an offense is committed, and this is not an offense committed against the government, it's against people and against organizations. Once a report is filed with the necessary security agents, especially the police, then an investigation is conducted. And remember, the people doing investigations are not the ones doing the prosecution. The people doing the prosecution are not the ones who are going to prescribe or to determine that an offense has been committed. So there are so many checks and balances within the entire system, both in the government, within the people, and within the private sector, and all that are involved to ensure that there is no abuse in the implementation of this law. Mm-hmm. Remember, it is not the police who made this law. This law is made by the parliamentarians, our honorable members of parliament,
yes,
who represent the people of Kenya, who elected them. Then once it is made, then it is handed over for implementation by all the people involved, including the law enforcement officers. So once an offense is committed, it's reported, and the investigation is done.